Welcome to Unprofessional Therapy. I am Michael,
I'm Brad.
and we have no degrees. We have just decades of experience to share or to learn from, or I don't know.
Maybe we'll learn from something.
I think so. I think so. So mine starts with I'm gonna say a thought experiment. Not really. Failure is like what I want to talk about to start with. I
You
want to talk
calling
about
me a failure this early in the morning?
this. I'm starting your morning off right.
That makes me anxious.
Oh
We'll talk about that
no.
later.
Okay. All right. So those are our two topics for today. I'm just going to jump right into it then and say failure's been on my mind a lot lately. And I've
Before
got
you start, what triggered it?
I don't know. I'm guessing what triggered it is my ex mother-in-law just passed away. Um, and so there's a lot of things. So there's that. There's maybe I've had some hiccups with my TCG Player store lately. Um, you and I talking, just that feels like a fit. No, I mean you and I talking about negative things and emotions
Mm,
has just got my mind just going through everything and just parsing everything out. And
do
I
we need to
find
end on a happy note more often?
no, I don't think so. I mean, yes, maybe. I
We
don't know.
should.
Okay, we'll
Okay,
we'll,
so
we'll
go
we'll
into
work
it.
on that.
So what are you thinking about failure for? What the heck, man?
Because I think if you can name a thing, you can deal with the thing. You can handle it.
Hope so.
Because yeah, yeah. Oh, you know what? There's another thing. I wasn't really going to talk about this, but I will go into it. I've been attending a group um, with regards to grief share that's dealing with the passing of a loved one. Um, and so the biggest thing that I have gotten out of that is setting down and examining things that you're uncomfortable with and doing it in a safe space. And I kind of feel like that's what you and I are doing. You and I are just talking. Maybe
Safe
other
space is
people
going in on the internet. Okay.
exactly. Maybe it doesn't feel as safe as it could,
You have
but
to be a little guarded.
yeah, yeah, but it is. And so that's got me thinking
Yeah.
about examining things that I'm uncomfortable with, or topics that could be uncomfortable.
Hmm.
So yeah, failure. So that's, I guess, what started me on that train, but I didn't go too far on the train because I want to pick you up go with me.
Okay. Yeah. I'll go
Yeah,
with you.
tell,
Let's
tell
go.
me tell me what failure is to you.
That'll get me into my topic too quick because
Okay.
that's kind of what we'll get into that.
Okay,
But
so
failure in
here
general is just, in my opinion, it's more of a career thing or a life thing. I could fail at cooking. I don't care.
so
I could fail at writing some code, but I'll get over it.
yeah. So I think, and for me that applies to everything. So I thought about failure and my epiphany, the thing that came to me along with it, um, is I widen the timeline and I feel better.
Yeah.
I might not be accomplishing this task right now, but nothing is that critical. And I think this is again where it came in with my ex mother in law passing away and stuff. That's pretty final, and that's a failure at living. That sounds terrible. I shouldn't make jokes.
Yes.
You understand, but you understand what I'm
I
saying. Just
understand it. You're going to get a lot of views for that one, a lot of hate for that one.
so anyhow, so a joke that failed. I'll move on and I'll say something else
There
stupid,
you
and
go.
never don't
There you
forget about
go.
the last one.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I widen the parameters of what I'm looking at, and I think from the outside, you said something. Well, you said about careers,
Hmm.
and I think about that, and I think, well, especially being disabled now,
Hmm.
um, nobody, well, few people, I think, would associate me with having a exceptional career or careers. You could see those as failures, but that's somebody else on the outside looking
Hmm.
in, and I don't, and none of that matters in my opinion. It only matters what you think about yourself and what you feel yourself. And so failure doesn't necessarily apply, you know? I don't know. That's why I want to know what your definition
Okay.
or your
So
word.
you kind of guided me to a thing I'd like to talk about with the failure thing. So failure is you can't call it a failure, and this is kind of where you were going, unless you compare it to what you wanted. It's a failure for you. You can see, maybe someone else on the outside, you think they're failed. Like, this is exactly what you're saying. You think they failed, but they don't.
Right.
So it doesn't matter what you think. It's how it's internalized.
Okay.
I could look like I'm extremely successful, but inside I feel like I'm a failure because I'm not ruler of the world.
Yet you extend the
Yeah.
timeline, you extend the
Yes.
parameters, and it's just yet it's not.
First, I have to become immortal because it's going to take a while to do this whole thing.
Now you got me going down a whole
lot of
40K
money.
universe.
So I understand. I mean, when you frame it like that, failure is something that you have to, that you can call somebody a failure, but that's you projecting.
Imposing your limitations or your
Right.
ideals
That's
on them.
along with the same things we talked a couple weeks ago about expectations.
Right.
It's what you think, not what other people think, which is, I think, is becoming a theme of our channel.
It kind of is.
We have a couple things we have. It's all within how you feel about you, and screw everybody else.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, what triggered the whole problem. Deal with the trigger.
Right.
Continue on with your failures.
So that's my thing is now moving away from external failures. I'm trying now, and again, this is all spur of the moment and off the top of my head. There is no areas. So I guess my question is, like, what do you do if you are feeling like a failure? Do you just need to shift your perspective? What would your advice be to somebody that internally feels like they're failing or a failure?
Well, you have to think about what's the reason you think you're failing. Why do you think you're failing? You play psychotherapist with yourself.
Right.
What is it that makes you think you're failing? Are you failing because you made $5 instead of $8? Is that a failure? Why is that a failure to you?
Right.
I don't have the answer for you. Only you do. I mean, how do you want to? I mean, we can play devil's advocate for a minute if you want to talk about a failure, and then I can just shoot questions at you.
Nope. I mean, I don't have one. I don't have one right now. And again, like I said, I
want to share.
No, there's nothing. There's nothing. I look at it and I think, like, okay, so, I'm divorced. I could look at that as a failure, but like, I got remarried and I wasn't needing to fill a void anyhow. Like, if I hadn't found Lori, I wouldn't have gotten married again. Like, I just wouldn't. It just wasn't going to happen.
And quite honestly, I've been married and divorced, a couple times, and I felt like, okay, the marriage failed.
Right.
I didn't.
That thing, that entity, whatever that was, that failed. You didn't take it personally. Okay.
And then and then in the moment, it's a little different. Like, let's say there is somebody going through getting ready for divorce, just divorced, whatever. It's not you that failed. It's the combination of the two of you that failed. It's not. It's a personality clash. It's a change that one or both of you went through that went in a different direction than the other person.
You grew apart.
And it's nothing wrong with you. Yeah, you grew apart. It's nothing wrong with either you or them. Yeah. You just no longer were compatible. Yeah. Maybe you weren't compatible in the beginning and you didn't realize it. Doesn't matter. Maybe
there were other things distracting you from that fact until you found it later.
My biggest piece of advice, though, is figure out what was the reason that you are getting divorced, and don't get into another marriage until you figure that out, and avoid whatever that reason was.
Yeah.
Avoid it like the plague.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Let's
And
look at
I
then.
think you did that with your wife now.
Yeah, until I was happy with myself and
Yeah, you have to. That's big time thing.
yeah, knew what I was willing to. I was going to say put up with that frames it badly.
Well,
What?
tolerate, not and even tolerate's a bad word, but
Yeah, what I was willing to accept in my life,
yeah, yeah,
and what I was willing to be in my life too.
yeah.
So that's, I mean, looking
And
at
people
both
might
sides.
say, "Oh, that means you have to compromise." Well, yeah,
Sure, that's
sometimes
life is
there
compromise.
there are some things you compromise and some things you simply won't. Like for one example, and my wife and I are both like this. Neither one of us would have married a smoker
Okay. Yeah.
because we both have experienced that in life. I mean, one of my ex-wives was a smoker,
Uh-huh.
and it drove me nuts. And that wasn't the reason we got divorced, but
It's
I
moving
realized
forward.
I don't want to ever be married to a person who smokes because I just
Gotcha.
don't like that environment.
Yeah. Yeah.
It has nothing to do with their personality. I just don't like cigarette smoke.
Yeah.
So I didn't.
That's funny because my temptation, of course, as you say that, is to reach over here and to grab my pipe.
My dad used to smoke pipes.
Exactly. I always thought that was cool. I think we need to bring that back. All these people vaping on stuff that is, water vapors. You need to bring back a good pipe.
No, I don't
Good
even
tobacco.
like vapes. I don't
No.
like vape. I'm not into any of that.
Well, that's good. You found what you will. So I guess before we move on to the next topic,
Sure.
I'm going to say for maybe somebody that is disabled, and this is something that's new for me, and I'm going to say near to failure, near to feeling like a failure. Not being able to work, ironically, is can feel like a failure. It can feel like you can't contribute. I'm still having problem framing it because I'm kind of past it. I guess in this world too, there's so much placed on monetary things
Yeah.
that it's we've created this world that we can't live in basically, and we're moving faster towards, well, we don't want to go into doom saying and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, so how do you frame that? So you find things to be constructive. You find within yourself what is lacking.
You have to say, okay, well, I can't do that. What can you do?
Right.
You and I both know, and we're not going to mention names, a person who was born with a problem.
Yeah.
She never let anybody help her.
Yes.
Well, she does a little bit now because she's in her 50s.
Sure.
But if you, to put it a little bit in context, she's in a wheelchair. If you saw her on the street and you said, "Hey, can I," and tried to push her or help her, be in a nice way, she would say something to the effect of, "Go away. I don't need your help." So I guess you don't think of what you can't do. Think of what you can do. What are you able to do?
I hate the platitudes of, say, differently enabled or whatever. That to me feels like it feels what's the word I'm looking for? Placating or patronizing.
Yeah.
Patronizing. It feels that way, but I 100% believe and understand that, because and especially we're going to go back now to the dyslexia. I find other ways to work around it.
Right.
And you find other strengths. So I guess that's the same thing with failure and everything else. Find other strengths and lean into those. You don't dwell on the negative stuff.
Yeah. You've got to get out of your mind with the negativity. And that's always, again, another theme of our channel. You got to get out of your negative spirals, and you have to really focus on what am I able to do, and start with the little things.
Yeah.
What are you physically capable of doing? Mentally capable of doing, that's constructive, that can help you in a positive way and help other people in a positive way, however you want to do it. And what's something you would prefer to do?
Right.
Would you like to sit at home and play video games all day? All right. If
Yeah.
you are able to do that, knock your socks off.
Right. Right.
I'll be jealous. So I like,
Well, that
I like
kind of
playing
leads us.
video games.
That kind of leads us into the idea of anxiety, I think.
Yeah, my anxiety is a problem right now.
Okay.
So I've got a lot of things going on. First of all, I mean, this is partially self-induced. It's going to sound a little
Okay.
weird, but not really. I mean, I've actually had some bad, scary dreams because of my anxiety in the last 7 days.
That's the worst.
And what it is it's money problems. You know, people like, oh, you live in Thailand, it's cheap to live there. Electricity bill is becoming bigger than any other electric bill I've ever had in the US because there's a little thing going on in Iran that's not helping. The country of Thailand, and I honestly like the structure, but I don't like how it affects me.
Okay, fair enough.
What they've done is people who use less than X amount of power a year or month get a reduced rate because they're generally don't have a lot of money.
Right.
People who use a middle pay a normal rate. People who use more pay more. Guess where I'm sitting with computer 3, 4, 5 computers and 4 or 5 air conditioners running.
Yeah.
Not all air conditioners running all the time.
Right.
I'm on the higher end, and my bill is going to go up 25%, which puts me in the $300 range per month.
Ouch.
Not baht, dollars.
Oh my goodness. Yeah,
That's putting a big pinch on the finances.
Okay.
Thankfully, my rent is it's actually more than my rent, which is just stupid, or at least it's going to be close to the same amount as my rent.
Yeah.
And people are like, you're paying how much for rent? It's like, yeah. One of the reasons I moved to Thailand, besides the fact that I have a great wife.
For sure.
You know, and there's some other things, like I've got 2 kids going to school. Again, not the kind of money I'd be paying in the US, not even remotely.
Yeah.
Not even slightly remotely. I have to pay for a house for them, electric for them. They will probably use less than me. Luckily, the 2 kids are going to the same school, so they're living in the same house.
Okay.
And they're going to use the same car, which I have to put more money into that car in a month. Oh no, in a month. Another big chunk. I have to pay for one of the kids' schools in 2 weeks. You know, it's just a lot of money going out in a short amount of time. And I'm just like, and I'm trying to save money because I would like to leave my job eventually. And I really, it's everything's pulling at my wallet.
Yeah.
You know, and we had to get a tablet for one of the kids because he's just now getting into college and he needed a tablet. And I agreed. I mean, these are not things that people are coming to me saying, gimme.
Right.
Okay. These are things that, my mom and who she was.
Right.
If I did not put these kids through school, she would come out of the grave and wring my damn neck. Also in Thailand, education, university style education is the only way you're going to get any kind of job.
Wow.
Even if you want to be a retail worker in the mall,
Yeah.
you need to have a degree.
Wow.
So these kids are getting an education. I'm hell bent on it.
Hell or high water. Gotcha.
Yeah. And so, but, and I'm okay with that. That's on me.
Sure.
That's why I say self-imposed anxiety. And I am stressing out because I can't do anything. You know, I'm just like, my wife is very good at keeping the bills down as much as she can. I mean, we still all need to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Especially me, as you see, you know, I have to keep a girlish figure. So these are things that's really giving me a lot of anxiety. It is, and people are like, oh, this is, I don't know if this is what people think or not. This is all in my head. Again, in my head. And they're like, oh, you make good money. It's like, I used to make better money 20 years ago. Here's the thing. 20 years ago, just dollar-wise, before inflation, I made more money than I do now.
Right.
At inflation rate, I'd be probably almost double what I am now. So I make okay money.
Right.
Okay, compared to a lot of people, but people our age, with the career that I have, I should be making well into the six figures, and I'm not at six figures. So yes, I make money, but I also try to manage my money. It took me a long time to get to this point to managing my money because I have, as we've discussed in a previous video, I have been without a home.
Right.
I don't want to go there again, and living in Thailand without a home would really suck.
That would definitely put you in an awkward spot.
Yes.
So I'm gonna maybe it's gonna sound harsh.
It probably will.
That's old stuff. Let's concentrate on where you are now. Don't worry about how much money you made in the past. Let's worry about where you're at now.
I was using that as putting it into context.
Sure. But as long as you're not comparing that in the back of your mind or your back of your head, like, okay, that's good.
No, because between the time I was making a lot of money and the money I'm making now, I went total broke. So I'm making a whole lot more money now than I was 10, 15 years ago.
Okay. All right. So keeping that in perspective.
And I'm out of debt. I'm almost debt free.
Oh my gosh. That's got to be a huge feeling. Even the fact you're on the way towards that. That brings up another thing where I was talking about earlier about, focusing on where you are and stuff and focusing on the positive stuff and looking at the problem, and then you can address the problem. If you can name it, a lot of people, especially when it comes to finances, just close their eyes. They're just like, it'll be fine or whatever. I'm going to work and it'll be okay. It'll work itself out. Another one of those things where if you look at it, if you take a hard look at the finances, you can do something about it. It might be a little painful, but you can make progress and stuff. And the fact that you're making progress in the right direction, well, maybe you feel like you're going back right now, but the fact that you're making progress in the right direction, even a little bit, it matters. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. You're still going forward.
Mentioned your mindset that you mentioned is where I was when I lost my house. It's like, oh, the money will take care of itself.
Yeah.
Funny enough, it didn't.
It didn't. It doesn't.
Here's the thing about it. Unless you are born into money and you have a trust fund and you're a trust fund baby, it's up to you. Period.
For sure. Well, oh man, there's so many roads to go down and stuff at this point. I'm going to try not to. But we are never, honestly, we in the U.S., we in general are never really taught how to view money, how to work with money, it's the one part of education that is sorely lacking. And we watched a video about this, or maybe I shared it with you, maybe you shared it with me, but the idea that the school structure is made for you to be a worker to work for somebody else. It just, that's how it's designed.
Okay, let's go off on education tangent for a minute. You remember home ec?
Sure. I loved home ec.
I remember baking cookies. I love baking cookies, chocolate chip cookies every day. I remember woodworking class or what was it? Wood shop?
Wood shop,
with Mr. I'm not going to say his name.
I love wood shop.
I did metal shop and was it auto shop?
There was auto shop, sure. Yeah.
I never did auto shop, but they would regularly oil change cars.
Yeah.
They wouldn't, it wasn't like a test.
Yeah.
Teachers would bring their cars in and say, we'll do it for, we'll change oil for $5 because back then that's what it was. Or whatever the price was. But we did have an accounting class, but that was more for business. We never had personal finances. We never had, here's how you balance a checkbook. And of course nowadays you don't have to balance a checkbook, which is kind of nice. We never had, here's a better way to invest money. Here's a better way to, here are the things, I think there was a class about financing with there was a guy that taught it. about that. He did teach a little bit about stocks and stuff,
Right.
but high school teachers teaching stocks and stuff, that's kind of a scary thing. And back then, you didn't have
that.
the internet.
You didn't have
It
the
was
option.
read the Wall Street Journal, figure out what you want to buy, call your broker. Good luck if you even have one.
Yes, if you could find one and so on.
Yeah,
You couldn't get fractional shares the way you can now.
No.
I want Amazon. Well, you got a couple $1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so.
If you didn't have like 50, 60 grand to put in, you weren't touching the stock market. Yeah. So, but in personal finances, you're absolutely right, because the way I grew up, see, it's funny, my sister grew up a little bit different, even though we 2 years apart. She was more educated on home finances from our uncle because of she stayed with them when she went to college.
Okay.
And I learned my finances from my mother, who wasn't the best example.
Okay.
She taught me, hey, you got it, spend it.
Oh,
but what she didn't realize is that I took that to the nth degree.
That
like
is
a hole in my pocket kind of nth degree. So anyway, I agree with you that the school, we were never taught, and I think it's worse now.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Because you see people online and you want to keep up with what you could. Hopefully you're not doing that. Don't try to keep up with me, believe me. but now we're back to talking about Now we're back to talking about failure. No. It's all a matter of perspective.
Not a failure, because I know in the last 5-10 years you've gotten to a point to where you're not in bad shape.
Right.
You're a lot. I think you're more financially stable now than you were when you had a job.
Yeah. Took a lot of work.
Now me getting the job I have now is actually why I'm out of debt. And my mentals, when I started making money, because I went from driving Uber to making 3 times as much. That was a big jump. And with that jump, when you make it, if you can mentally handle, and this was a mental decision I had to make, do not change the way you live. Stay in this apartment, stay with your car, don't buy anything new, pay off your debt.
Get those, and that's what I did.
Yeah. I paid it off. It took years. And then I started investing slowly. I still don't have any kind of retirement fund, but I have a little bit of an investment. So, and you're the one that got me taught, you're the one that gave me M1.
Good old M1. You got to love it, buying those fractional shares. So before we go too far along, because we're coming up on time pretty soon.
Yeah, I know.
I want to get back to your more immediate issues of anxiety. Is there anything to talk about? How are you going to tackle that? Because I can't imagine. I can imagine. I know exactly what it's like to wake up from anxiety, to wake up from an anxiety dream, and that residue just stays with you. It's almost worse than the feelings you have when you're awake.
It was.
Because you can't do anything about it, and it's like it sticks to you. It's just like glue.
So what am I doing about it?
What can you do about it? How are you going to attack it?
Well, I've just been completely ignoring it and hoping it'll just take care of it.
It'll be fine. Don't worry.
I couldn't even get that out.
You learn nothing. Go back and watch this video from the beginning.
What I've been doing is what you said earlier, expanding the timeline.
Okay.
And there's a quote from a movie I'm sure you know well. This too shall pass.
Yes. Very true.
Even though he says you shall not pass, I will pass. But I will get through it. I know I'll get through it. I'm tightening my belt, even though I bought a new microphone.
Brad, come on.
It'll be
sound
here
good though.
It'll be here in a couple days.
Oh, it's not there yet.
No, it's not this microphone.
Send me that one when you're done.
Oh, I will. I'll let you. I'll send you an email.
No, I meant send me the microphone when you're done. I'm just kidding. You already got me this great microphone.
No. I thought about getting you one because I think you would love it. Anyway, but they're not cheap. It's actually more expensive than this.
Oh,
it's a wireless.
Oh, okay.
It's the new Insta360 Pro mic. You can look that up. No, I don't have an affiliate link. Just go. If you want one, get one. Look at the reviews. I'm talking to people, audience. Anyway, no. So what I'm doing, I am tightening my belt. There's a way I could get the microphone without going into debt. So just by doing things, I don't want to go into details.
Okay,
But anyway,
that's
it's
fine.
not going to break me.
So what I was fishing for was to say, well, I'm talking to my friend about it and I feel better, but that's what I'm fishing for.
Yeah.
That's happening. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, sure. It's all internal, whatever you want to think.
I'm not a failure.
No,
He is
I
listening.
do. I, in all seriousness, it does help. These talks, even though we're making videos and we're joking and everything, they help me. By you and I talking, and we've done this before we even started recording.
Sure.
Anything, like years ago, we would just talk and just vent, and then that's when we've slowly gotten into this type of a format where I watch these videos. I mean, for people to know, I watch these videos after they come out, and I smile halfway, and I go, "Oh wow, yeah, I did say that. Oh God, I said that." But I still get something out of them when I watch them.
Well, good. I am glad. And I hope that other people get something out of this too. We're not just talking for our health. We're hopefully helping other people too, because that's really, I was going to say that's what we're here for. Well, we're here for each other, and we're here for you too, if you need it.
Yeah.
You can,
to let you know that you're not alone.
Yeah. And that's so easy. It's so easy when you're in a bad place to think about that and to think that's you, but you're not. Look at other people that can help better. I'm getting all weepy and sappy. Anyhow,
I'm going to say one more thing before we cut this out. And you've heard this a million times. No matter how bad you have it, there's someone else who has it worse.
Sure.
I don't want to know the guy at the bottom of the list, but it's not you.
And as long as you're here, things can improve. And I think that's the main thing I want to leave you with today and stuff is like expand your timeline. Things might be bad right now, but it won't be that tomorrow, and it won't be that forever. So
it gets better.
It does get better. Yeah.
Yep.
For sure.
Agreed. With active participation.
With participation, for sure. And a little bit of unprofessional therapy.
A little bit of that.
You like that? I wove that together. So yeah. All right. Anyhow, like, comment, subscribe, share this with somebody. That's the most important thing. Is like if you get anything out of it, you please get anything out of it.
Even if you don't get anything out of it, share it anyway.
Sure.
Annoy your friends. We don't care.
Exactly. Use it to wheedle them just a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyhow, thanks for joining us. I've been Michael.
I've been Brad.
Unprofessional therapy. No degrees, just decades.